Hey guys, this is Artemon 5000, and yeah, you're looking at this correctly. It is indeed Weekly Jump. Yeah. Hey guys, Artemon here. So right now I have with me the Weekly Shonen Jump, a magazine, the anthology magazine that basically posts a lot of the more popular manga that a lot of us are very familiar with, like Bakuman, different ones like Naruto, One Piece, Gintama, a whole load of them. And this is also the anthology magazine that posted the much more popular mangas like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and quite a bit of them. And in all honesty, they still post quite a bit of Dragon Ball Z news here. They talk about a lot of the video games that come out based on it, which makes sense because they're talking about basically games that are related to a manga that was published on here. Now, to start off, this is a little bit different compared to the American ones. I say different because every week, as you can see on the magazine's title, a new chapter for every single manga is published on here. From my understanding, a lot of the manga artists take basically about a week to complete a manga chapter to basically publish in here. And the difference between the American ones, which I'm going to pull up one right now, the Epoch Cross one, because, I love Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece is pretty awesome too. Basically, the thing is, here, they basically post any random chapters based on the One Piece or Naruto. At least with the One Piece and Naruto ones, from what I've been told, they posted basically random chapters, and I don't think the latest one is posted, unless if it's from the more recent chapters. I'm sorry, I guess my information's a little bit more limited, because I don't really follow up with Naruto or One Piece. And the difference here is they basically post chapters from the more recent manga that's basically getting published. And they don't always complete, and this is what I found out when I was reading up information on this, and it's that they don't complete the chapters or the actual series. They just only post certain series. From what I've read, the only series that have ever gotten completed at all, from what I've read is so far, was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mangas and Yu Yu Hakusho, as well as a few others. And of course Naruto and One Piece weren't posted completely on here. That's because, from my understanding, they're still not finished. Dragon Ball Z wasn't really posted on here completely, and neither were any of the other mangas. A good chunk of the Shonen Jump mangas aren't serialized on here, or if they are, it's only one chapter, or only a few chapters, and that's basically it. Because they just want to complete the publication of the manga individually. However, I will bring something out. Let me just go get it. And it's one of the series that hasn't really been completed at all in terms of translation. Okay, be careful with that. And that is, and I think this is one of the very few mangas that hasn't never been completed. It's the Bobobo series, at least the manga series. The anime series, as far as I understand, is completely translated. That's my understanding of the whole series itself. So what we got from Bobobo was only what they bothered to ever translate. Like these volumes that I just brought up down here, were chapters or volumes 10 to 13 or 13, and I think they only did up to 15. They did bring volume 9 in America, but that was under the Shonen Jump Alpha or Shonen Jump Advanced title. I know that other mangas, like, because there's two different Shonen Jumps in America. There's this thing, and there's Shonen Jump Advance. Though I think this one was, from what I read, it was had stopped, production around mid 2013, and they just decided to go with the Shonen Jump Alpha, which is the more digital version of Shonen Jump, which kind of shows that there's a bit of a parallel between there's a little bit of a parallel between Nintendo Power and this thing. I guess magazines aren't as popular as they were back then, which is kind of sad. However, there's a huge difference, and I'm sure when I back up, you'll probably see it. And that's because, the American volumes are a lot thinner than the Japanese volumes. Even though most of the manga published on here, the Weekly Shonen Jump, are basically the mangas that we get in the American Jump. Because they're more current, they're more, up to date. But something interesting I found out was this older version of the Shonen Jump, which actually has about 7 different mangas on here. And that's the same of the amount of mangas that they put in here or any of the other ones. And from my understanding, they usually go up to 12 mangas per volume. That's kind of a stretch. However, compared to this one, let me show you. About 20 different volumes. Or 21, depending on what order this is put into. That's quite a bit for like a weekly Shonen Jump manga, which kind of comes to show that at least with Japanese production, they put a lot of hard work and effort into like just putting all the compiling up all the latest volumes of whatever manga they're focusing on at the moment, and just putting it all in here. I'm actually going to show you a little bit of a difference too. Now, both of these show different advertisements. Here, they just show like different like products. They show different. They show card games. They show different advertisements for video games, and like the video game advertisements are more unique. Cause see, look here. If I can just zoom out. Well, really shoddy camera work there. Like, look at the way they lined up everything here. They showed, like, the title of the thing, and they have, like, different images shown here and there. And I think I've seen a couple of video game advertisements also done this way. But from my understanding, they have a separate, different video games articles. Let me just try to find a video game article in here. Because I've seen like video game articles actually posted in the same method as this one, but though it was mainly the Naruto games. So yeah. Shoot. I think it was probably here. See, there's a lot of them that actually, whenever there's like a new game that's being published or being made, based on the more latest volumes of, or latest anime, they basically just put the advertisements similar to how they do it here. Though other times, when they talk about video games, they just have their own section of games that they love, and they're just talking about stuff like, Spore, Mario Sluggers, Viva Pinata, and the games that are, coming up, upcoming. I'm sorry. This is not really my best video, but bear with me here. But here they tend to... It's a little bit more random sometimes. But other times they'll have another section. Let me just show you. Another advertisement for a video game, the Bleach PSP game. More, and there's much more information on the more upcoming games of Naruto, and I guess there's another one for the Reborn anime. So they have their own sort of section for different ones. Now, I'm sorry if I can't tell you everything that's on here. Well, because I can't speak in Japanese worth of crap, but, you know. Yeah, see, there's a page dedicated to some Akira Toriyama production. There's something for Dragon Quest, I think? I can't really tell. Like, this character looks like something out of Dragon Ball Z, or out of something that Akira Toriyama himself would actually design. But nonetheless, these, like, the way they kind of put them together is kind of interesting. It's like normally how they would, you know, advertise something in regular magazines. So, yeah. Here they have some sports-related stuff, like here. I think things related to, like, actors and whatnot. Or still sports players. I don't... Yeah, here we go. And here is where they'll probably post, like, different things, like... let me just show you. This is probably a better angle. They have, like, character sketches for different manga characters. They have, well, more toys and whatnot based on what they're, you know, serializing on here. Card game stuff. More card game stuff for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think they'll have an extra card in here. I'm not entirely sure. I know that they have cards for, like, different stuff here and there. Here they have, like, the more upcoming episodes of the latest One Piece or Dragon Ball Kai, I think. Because this is a 2010 volume, and this was when they were still airing episodes. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Bleach. I think this is, from what I could tell, like, which certain date, like the 4th of April, the 4th of, as you can see here, the 4th of the 25th, 4th of the 21st, still the 4th of the 25th, and then the 4th of the 20th here. All these different dates. And another big difference here is, okay, now a good majority of the manga that's usually published here are, like, all done in black and white, as you can see. And that's normal for, like, a lot of the manga that you would come across. But the main difference here is sort of surprising. A sort of faint black and white. It looks a little more fainted, like, in terms of how, or it kind of faded out, just the way it's kind of, like, set up here. You could tell that it's kind of hard to make out some things, because it's not as, you know, hard black like this, like the American volumes are. There's, like, green pages here. There's stuff, you know, published in red. And there was actually, for the Bakuman thing, this thing actually has a glossy page, all done entirely in blue, which I thought was kind of interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting the way they kind of publish things a little bit differently compared to how the American Shonen Jump is, you know, set up. Even some of the things like the soccer ball players, it's all done in this very newspaperish sort of quality. Like, if you look at a newspaper, it has such faded, you know, quality of, you know, how it's printed and whatnot. It kind of looks like that here, a little bit. Interesting fact. The Weekly Jump mainly, of course, posts manga, and it has the same, like I said, the same manga as the American Shonen Jump. While the Shonen Jump has Shonen Jump Alpha, which is what's basically taken over this thing, and it's like the digital Shonen Jump. There's also Shonen Jump Advance, which I don't even know how that's keeping up. But the Weekly Jump isn't the only thing they have. They have different things like the V Jump, which mainly posts video game news on any upcoming game that anyone's anticipating, and it could be anything like the Dragon Quest games, the new Dragon Ball Z or Naruto games, and what have you. They have game news on Digimon, which there was a Digimon advertisement here, by the way. It was one of the Digimon story games that was up for the Nintendo DS. There was quite a bit of stuff here. They even have there was a monthly Shonen Jump, but that got canceled in 2007, and that was taken over by Jump Square, and that basically became like the new monthly Shonen Jump. And then they have stuff like Ultimate Jump, Weekly Young Jump, and monthly Young Jump, which all are seinen from what I've heard, or they're basically for more young adult, as in it's a little bit more mature quality, like more blood and gore and sexual content compared to the manga that you'll see here. This is a little bit more tame-ish, while the other manga they put in the Weekly Young Jump and whatnot is a lot more mature. Actually, in the covers I've seen of Weekly Young Jump or Monthly Young Jump, there's always a girl in her bikini or whatnot on the front cover. I gotta tell you something. Yeah. Interestingly enough, there's actually a lot more. There are actually a lot more magazines that carry the whole Jump name, or they're part of the Jump timeline, but they're all basically canceled. And I think some of them were either predecessors to stuff like the V Jump. Some of them were just there for some time. They were only I guess aired for some time. They only were there for about 20 years, 30 years before they just stopped being published. Which I'm not exactly sure why that happened. And they had different versions of each of the different kinds of jump that they had. There was a different version of the Weekly Jump. There was a different version of the monthly Jump. There's a different versions of every single jump out there. Anyway, this is Martamon 5000. I think that's all I have to say for now. So yeah, I got a Weekly Jump, and I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, I'll see you later.